This is part 2 of our Virtual Pinball 101 series. In this video, we're going to talk about whether or not you should consider buying or building your own virtual pinball machine. So the answer to that question is pretty simple. It depends who you are, how much time you have, how technically inclined you are, not just technically from a hardware point of view, but also from a software point of view. Building one of these machines, as you can see here, takes a ton of components. And all of these components, even though in this machine it looks very clean and organized on our Ultra VP, it actually consists of miles and miles of cabling that's in these channels that you can see here. And it connects probably a good, I would say, 20 to 30 different peripheral components together, right? So we're talking about things like the shaker motor, the knocker, the gear motor, things, the surround sound system, the digital plunger, the nudging mechanism, the tilt bob, all of that stuff. And then of course also the game activated lighting that you see here. Underneath the belly of the beast, there are addressable LED strips also behind the machine, all sorts of stuff. And then that is required. We are looking also at 3 different amplifiers that are connected here, as you can see, to a surround sound system for SSF, surround sound feedback support. All the buttons that are on the front of this machine need to be activated and controlled by the PC. And of course your PC itself that sits here, all of that needs to go into one of these machines. So that requires time. The average amount of time needed to build one of these is typically 6 months to a year. That is if you do that in your spare time. Then the software itself, which consists of over 1,000 tables that are now available. If you look at this here, if I go to the all tables category and you hit the button here, you can see that this has over 1,138 games installed. There are more, but I would go and venture to say that it's not worth installing all of them because they're not all good to play and they don't all support the DOF devices we just went through. So if you want to become a hobbyist and you are actually looking into having the satisfaction of building it completely from scratch for yourself, by yourself, and willing to dig into all the forums online in the virtual pinball community, learn how the software components work together, it's going to take time, but it's also going to give you the satisfaction, right? If you are like a lot of other people and you're not inclined to actually building your own, you just want a plug and play machine that works and gives you the pleasure of playing virtual pinball and make it feel like a real pinball machine. And that's the key here. Making it feel like it is not an easy task, right? Separating the components correctly, putting it into the right places and all of that. Then something like the Ultra VP that we build is the right answer. It's plug and play. The software comes from a third party. It's 100% made to be compatible with the Ultra VP, and you have all the components, everything needed to make it feel real. Now, in terms of what's available out there, in terms of building kits for virtual pinball, if you choose to build your own, there are, I would say, at least 2 to 3 major players that sell you the kits. But oftentimes those kits are not full size. They are 43-inch screen enabled, compatible. Not like this machine here that has a 49-inch full-size wide body. And you're going to find that the 43-inch machines out there that you can build as a kit do not stack up to the size of an original mechanical machine when you sit them next to each other. So as a recap, should you build or should you buy? If you want the satisfaction and you have the time of building it yourself, you have the technical know-how to bring the software together, which, by the way, as you can see, the software back in the day for the main cabinets like this bad boy, that was actually pretty easy to put together. You had a computer, you put the MAME software on there, a few ROMs later, and you were up and running. Not so with the virtual pinball cabinets. Virtual pinball software is a whole lot more complicated, and I've had many customers or potential customers call us and say, you know what, I tried to build my own, I've given up. The software has really been driving me crazy, and I can't find anybody that sells me a pre-made piece of software that will just work. So that's another consideration, and it's very important that you take that seriously, because it took the guys, the third-party vendor that actually made the software for the Ultra VP, it took them nearly a year to get it just right and to get it to a point where it's not breaking constantly, and all the videos, be it on the back glass or the topper monitors, and everything works as it should. So I think that pretty much wraps it up. I think a lot of customers and a lot of prospects that we have are people that just have a game room at home. They just want to add virtual pinball, just like they have the multicade with all the arcade games. You can see here on the right. They just want to complete the collection. They want something that is plug and play and works, has the best build quality and all the DOF components that make the unit feel real. Thanks for listening. Hope that was helpful to you guys. Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel here, especially if you want to be notified of future 101 video releases that are coming. The next one we're going to do is going to talk about competition versus the Ultra VP, what differentiates the different products in the marketplace, and why you should be considering the Ultra VP over others. And we will continue making a few more of those videos that will be helpful and informative. Thanks.